Good morning, all of you. Myself, Dr. Kesha Desai, from Department of Pharmacology, Faculty of Pharmacy. I would like to welcome you all on behalf of Department of Pharmacology, Faculty of Pharmacy. I would like to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Salma ma'am. Hello, Salma ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Kesha. I hope all fine. You can hear me? Dr. Kesha, you can hear me?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm not audible. Am I not audible? Hello.
College of Pharmacy affiliated to Bangalore University. She obtained her doctoral degree from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Science, Bangalore. She completed her proficiency course, that is Introduction to Biotechnology, and short-term courses on Frontiers in Biotechnology from IISc Bangalore. She has more than 33 years of experience. She is presently working as professor in Department of Pharmacognosy, Alamein College of Pharmacy, Bangalore. Her area of research interests include quality control and standardization of herbal drugs, isolation and structure elucidation of phytoconstituents from herbal sources, plant tissue culture, evaluation of herbal drugs for various pharmacological activities, development and evaluation of different herbal drug and cosmetic formulations. Dr. Salma ma'am has guided MPharm and PhD candidates. She has co-guided many MD students in Ayurveda and Unani. She has published more than 50 articles in various peer-reviewed national and international journals. She has organized many workshops on herbal drugs research and has actively participated in organizing several conferences. She has actively participated in framing the syllabus for RQHS and other universities. She has served as a member of Academic Council of RQHS and MSRUS. She has been a member of PhD committee at RQHS, JSS University and Jamia University. She is state government nominated member of KSPC, that is Karnataka State Pharmacy Council. She is also on the roll of various professional organizations as life member and is examiner for various universities in India. Now I would like to hand over this speaker to ma'am. She will give you the session. So, ma'am, you can start your session, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kesha. Thank you for a nice introduction. First of all, let me thank Department of Pharmacology, MSRUS, especially Damodar, for inviting me for this lecture. So, as all of you know, my topic is plant stem cell culture. So, I have chosen this topic called plant stem cell therapy. Now, this is a topic of recent research, and lot of enthusiasm is going on in the skin industry about this plant stem cell therapy. But of course, even the stem cell therapy. We know that stem cell therapy is having lot of it is very popular because people are very enthusiastic about stem cell. Maybe it is going to be the best degenerative medicine, and a lot of work has been, even though the history, if you look at it, probably it is some 60-year or 50 to 60-year-old, but it's become popular in last 15 to 20 years, where we are seeing that stem cells are being popularly used even in skin care, but more popular in the other diseases like regenerative purposes, for regenerative purposes. And also what we have been seeing is that there are some disputes also about this stem cell therapy, because the stem cells are being collected from the human sources or the animal sources. So, little moral and ethical issues are there. So from last, as of what I know, it is around 12 to 15 years, people are talking about stem cell, plant stem cell therapy. So, I think so much of enthusiasm is there even about this. And especially for me, people who are in pharmacy field, people who are in pharmacognosy field, we have been thinking whether really it is useful or not. But then when you look at the market, you have so many products which are there, which are containing this plant stem cells, and hence it is, we can say that these cells are being used for therapy. Now all of us know what is plant, we know what is stem cell, we know what is therapy. So today I'm going to take you through this plant stem cell therapy. Um, to start with, I will just try to give you a little bit of, my point of view. Like, we've been reading about it, we are reading about stem cells, we are reading about plant stem cells, but then I once what had happened was I had gone to one of the shops, that is Himalaya Drug. There I saw one smart lady, and she was trying to promote the products of Himalaya Drugs. One product, she said that this is a stem cell therapy research. So I said, okay, yeah, good. So I looked at the product, and I saw one of the ingredient there is stem cell, plant stem cell of some of the plants. So that made me thinking. Of course, it is there from a long time. Then I thought, okay, we can also do that. We as pharmacists, we can also think of growing this plant stem cells, and maybe we can try and formulate. So I've been doing a lot of work, and probably I will try to start something to see, because it is possible. We know we are doing plant tissue culture in the lab, so maybe we can isolate the stem cells and try to culture them, try to formulate them, try to see in what way it can be given, and other things. So today I'll take you through what is this plant stem cell therapy. I'm not very sure about the audience. Probably the audience is a lot of students, and some experts may be there. If there are any experts who know a little more than me, please contribute whatever you can. Or if I'm, somewhere I have not stated the correct fact, kindly correct me. Right. So I will start with, we are trying to plant a seed of hope with these plants and their stem cells. Right. Now, I think all of you have seen a plant growing. So here what I'm trying to show you is a small seed which is trying to germinate. And we know these plants have so much of energy, so much of power, and so much of uniqueness. And I think the, what do we say, it is this a living cell which is having the best longevity and best totipotency. I'm sure all of you are aware about totipotency. If you see a plant germinating, or for that matter, you take a vegetative propagation, when we see the plant when it is there, vegetative propagation we see mostly very common in the plants. No other living cell can show this kind of a propagation, where you take a cell, any part of the plant, put it in, give it a proper nutrition, it starts to divide. And how does it divide? It divides first, just like that, as an undifferentiated mass probably, and then it starts getting differentiated. It undergoes organogenesis. So here also, if you try to see what we have here, what I'm showing the plant, you can see that these roots, see how these roots are coming out, where they come out, and how these small things keep elongating. And the amazing thing is it keeps taking the nutrition, supplying it to the plant. And another thing what we know about plant is this is the only living cell which can, from sunlight it can take energy and try to grow, try to make nutrition for itself, and we are also using that nutrition. So it would be so interesting if we know what is controlling the plant, right? What is controlling the plant cells? If you try to look at the molecular level, you will have so many enzymes, so many genes, so many other things which are controlling, so that how do we know that this root is coming here? How many roots have to come? How does the cell decide that? If all those are possible, and we know that there is a click or there is a stimulus which is trying to stimulate the plant cell to undergo organogenesis or differentiation, then the same kind of stimulus probably we can do it in an animal or a human cell, and we may be able to do many of the therapies where the cells have to be grown or repaired or regeneration is required. So we will start with that it is a seed of hope that plant stem cell therapy will work. It is, of course, there are so many reports which says that it is working, but there are so many controversies also which say that it is not really working. It is only the extracts which are working and other things. Okay, so let us see now. Is it true that stem cells of plants can also be used in stem cell therapy for human beings? Yes, I would say yes, but please think. Have you ever thought that stem cells of plants can be used for stem cell therapy of humans? Now, what is stem cell therapy of human? That means we are trying to replace the human cells with the plant cells. Of course, that is not possible. But then plant stem cells can do something in the human cells so that it can be useful for certain kind of treatment or regeneration or repair or some other benefits it may be having. Another question that all of us will have is how could that be? If plants is being used for humans, plants are so different from humans, isn't it? Everybody says that plant and animal are totally different. The number of chromosomes are different, the genes are different, the molecular controls are different. But no, now I'll just show you that some of the controls, it is seen that some of the molecular controls are similar in the plants, because plants also, see, both plants and animals are similar in the way that they function, especially in the way they renew themselves, in the way they repair themselves. See, plants, we know anything you try to cut, it regrows. It may not happen in humans and animals, but still we see in human the skin grows, the hair grows, the nail grows, right? So, but in plants, most of the plants we see any part you take, it is having that totipotency, it can grow. But this totipotency or pluripotency, what we say, is there even in the some of the human cells also or animal cells also. So in some way or other, they are similar, and we have to actually explore and see what is that similarity and try to use it for our research work. So the fact is that these plant cells are meristems of the plant, and they help in healing process of the plant which has suffered a lesion. And plant cells can induce stem cells in humans. There are proofs where it is shown that if the plant cell is given to the humans, it will not grow, but then it will stimulate the human cells to grow. And the best thing is that the plant cells have high antioxidant value, and that is why it is beneficial for skin. I'm saying skin because in the market we see many skin products containing the stem cells. Okay, this I think I've told you. Why are we so interested in plant cells? Because we know that the best longevity it is there in the plants. If you think of it, these plants have been there in this world, I think, much before us, and they are going to stay for a long time. And the longevity, when we say most of the plant cells, you take the cells to the lab, it keeps growing, right? It may not, there is no aging process there, and it keeps growing. Whereas if you see the plant cell, except the cancerous cell, of course, most of the human cells have an age. They might, not, they might stop growing. Then these plant cells have something called totipotency and pluripotency. I hope all of you are aware about this term. Totipotency is having the entire potency, total and totipotency and pluripotency, the potency to grow into the entire organism. You know, see, if you look at the cells, all the cells are having similar genes, right? Or the DNA is same in all the cells. So the gene for what do we say, for the any property of the cell is present in all the cells, but some cells do some jobs, the other cells do some other job. Now let us see only about the growth. All the cells are able to grow, and especially these stem cells we know are able to grow and probably differentiate into different organisms, and this property is seen in plant cells much better than the animal cells. Then we know plants are highly adaptive. They have highly adaptive survival tactics. They can, you know, I'll say most of the times they are able to survive the various conditions, probably the environmental condition or other conditions. Then they are able to reconstruct. You would have seen, you cut a branch, it will regrow, which is not seen in others. And can we say plant cells are immortal? They never undergo aging process? Probably we can say. And then they are the incipient form of the plant energy. We see that so much of energy is present. It can grow, it can make food, it can do so many things, right? So what I'm going to do is, of course, my topic is not animal or human stem cell, but then just for you to get a little bit of idea, we will start with what are stem cells. Okay, so what are stem cells? There is a definition. I've written the definition here. Stem cells are called unique cells present in the body that have the potential to differentiate into various cell types or divide indefinitely to produce other stem cells. Right? I think all of us will agree with it. So stem cells are, I can say, foundation of development in plants, animals, and human beings. As long as human beings are made up of cells, we need stem cells to treat our body. I hope all of you agree with this. We do need the cells. So that is why we are looking for cells which can replace the cells. As long as we lose cells, why do we lose cells? Either when we are having an injury or we are having a disease or anything, we might lose cells. If we are losing cells, we need stem cells, right? Either we are sick or not sick. Sometimes without being sick also we might be losing cells. In such cases also we will be looking for plant cells, or stem cells. So you need stem cells for what? You need it to repair, to restore, to replace, to rejuvenate, and to regenerate. And this is what the stem cell therapy is doing. It is trying to repair, restore, replace, rejuvenate, and regenerate. Right? So stem cells, I would say, are very, very smart cells. They know how to find injured cells and tissue in the body. Right? If you see that if you're trying to do stem cell therapy, you inject it somewhere, it will try to go to the injured place or tissue and try to correct it. And it can initiate the healing process by themselves. So it's simple diagram. What is a stem cell? It is a single cell that can replicate itself, or it can differentiate into different types of cells. So current definition of stem cell is that they are clonogenic precursors whose daughters can either remain stem cell or undergo differentiation. Now, what is stem cell therapy? Use of these stem cells in different dosage forms to treat or prevent a disease or condition. Now, all of us should think of these dosage forms. What is the dosage form? In case of skin treatment, we are making a dosage form in form of a cream or lotion, but otherwise it can be injected, it can be applied or anything else. So the therapy is that using these stem cells to treat or to prevent the diseases. For example, or also we can also say for transplantation, like in case of hematopoietic stem cell, we do transplantation from bone marrow transplant. We do dermatology, we do neurodegenerative diseases. Many of the stem cells are used. I'll show you that. See, of course, okay, this is the types of stem cells. In case some of you are not aware, we can get stem cells from bone marrow. We can get stem cells from embryos. We can get even from adults, or we can get from the cord blood or umbilical cord blood. I'll try to tell you about this more. So which are the types of cells? You have embryonic stem cells. You have the adult stem cells, which can be tissue-specific stem cell or mesenchymal stem cells, or you have something new. This is called induced pluripotent stem cells, where we can, a normal cell, we can induce it. And to tell you some information about this, the Nobel Prize for introducing this induction into the normal cell to make them pluripotent was given to a scientist called Yamaka in 2012. So now we have induced pluripotent. That means whenever there is a disease, you can take a small stem, you can take any cell and you can induce it to make it pluripotent so that it will become a stem cell and it can be used for either regeneration or repair. So let's see what these cells are. What are embryonic stem cells? All of you will think it is an embryo cell, right? Who will use an embryo cell, right? Will anyone try to make an embryo and then donate it for stem cells? Probably not, and that is where your moral and ethical issues come. So these are the extra embryos which are actually obtained in vitro fertilization. So whenever in vitro fertilization is done, if there are extra embryos, those can be used for stem cell with, of course, permission, or for the same person who has been born by the IVF method, or their relatives, or whatever. Then mesenchymal cells are the connective tissue or the stroma that surrounds the body's organs and other tissues. Pluripotent cells are the self-renewable cells with the potential to differentiate into cell types within an organism. Induced pluripotent cells are the stem line that can be stimulated to specialize in a particular way. Apart from this, we have the umbilical cord, we have the bone marrow and other things. So we can also classify the stem cells like this, depending on their differentiation. See how they are differentiating. I'll give you the definitions of this who are not aware. You have something called totipotent, pluripotent, multipotent, unipotent, and oligopotent. Right. So this is depending on how they can differentiate, how they multiply and then differentiate, especially differentiation. Now the students, if they are there, I want you to be very aware as to what is the meaning of differentiation, redifferentiation, dedifferentiation. Dedifferentiation would be undifferentiation. Differentiation is where it is getting into organogenesis to form the organogenesis. According to the origin, we can classify the stem cell as embryo. Even sometimes the fetal cells are used. Infant, we can use the umbilical cord, or the Wharton's jelly, which is a jelly which is there near the umbilical cord. Then adults, we can have any types of cells. Of course, not all these cells. People are doing research. A lot of trials are going on where neural cells are being used, hematopoietic cells are used, mesenchymal, of course, is used. Gastrointestinal cells, epidermal cells, hepatic and pancreatic cells are being used. So these are the stem cells which are available from the human or animal. So according to the type, I'll go through very fast. If any doubts are there, you can ask me. So totipotent cells can differentiate. This is, as the name indicates, totipotent. They have the entire potency to develop into the entire organism. Pluripotent, they can turn into almost any cell. This is what we would need. We can take any cell and we say, for example, I have a skin problem. I can take cell from any other part of the body and try to make a skin. Or if I have a problem in cardiac or say pancreas, I should be able to take a skin cell, try to convert it into the pluripotent cell so that it will start making the either the cardiac cell or any other cells. Normally the early embryo cells are pluripotent. Now we can think of making embryo, we know, isn't it? Embryo, what happens when it starts to grow? Embryo is a single cell. It's such an amazing thing that you have to think of, that embryo is a single cell which divides into 2 cells, 4 cells, 8 cells, and then it starts to differentiate. And why does it differentiate? Because these cells have this pluripotency, right? Then multipotency is this can differentiate into closely related family of cells. Oligopotent, these can differentiate only into different types of cells. Normally the adult lymphocytes are oligopotent. White blood cells and platelets are multipotent. Unipotent, they can produce only one type of cells. That is your muscle cell or any other thing. Another classification of stem cell could be human, animal, plant. And now we are more interested, for today, we are more interested in the plant stem cell. What are the characteristics of these stem cells? All of it I have already told, but let's revise or let's repeat. Ability to self-renew or multiply while maintaining the potential. Ability to become any kind of cell. For example, stem cell of any cell can become a cell of kidney, liver, bone, skin, or anything. keep renewing themselves and serve as a repair system. Now, this is what is being used for therapy. Anything can be done to either repair something or try to convert one of the cell into another cell. What are the uses of these stem cells? Stem cells themselves do not serve any single purpose, but with right kind of stimulation, they can take the role of any type of cell, and they can be useful in to regenerate the damaged tissue under the right conditions. And this potential could save lives or repair wounds and tissue damage in people after an illness or injury. And scientists see many possible uses of these stem cells, and that is why a lot of enthusiasm is there among the scientists to use this for the diseases which are not curable by the normal traditional methods. So the applications of stem cell, I would see stem cell research, where you have to study the model for development of organism to replace the damaged cells, or this can be used, we have to think of, as a pharmacy people, we have to think of how to discover the drug. For discovery of the drug, we need some trials. So trial can be done by using these stem cells. Then this can be used as a regenerative medicine. This can be used for various therapeutic purposes. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you before. So we can see the stem cells can be taken from, can be converted or taken from certain cells, neurons, and you can probably treat any of the brain disorders or, degenerative disorders. Can be either converted or taken from enterocytes, and some intestinal disorders can be cured. Can be taken or converted to hepatocytes for liver diseases, cardiac cells for heart diseases, and for the bone diseases. So currently we can see the stem cell, lot of research is going on for treatment of heart disease, Parkinson's disease, spinal cord injury, diabetes mellitus, insulin producing cells, and sclerosis, arthritis, and burns. And all these, now the scientists who are doing plant stem cell therapy are having some hopes that probably we can try to do some of the treatment using the plant stem cell cells which are cultured in vitro. Okay, some pictures I have taken from the net. Conditions that can be treated with stem cell. Bone marrow transplant can be done for leukemia, thalassemia, or anemia. Cord blood stem cells can be taken for blood disorders. Then skin cells can be taken for treatment of burns. Then osteoarthritis can be treated, macular degeneration can be done, and then nervous system related disorders can be done. Heart attack, people are trying to see whether stem cell can be used for this. Now, what is the source of these stem cells for humans and other things? We can't just get it from anywhere. So we have to do what is called donation or harvestation, isn't it? So where do we get? People can donate from trusted source stem cells to help a loved one, or possibly for their own use in future. So, for some time I have seen people are telling, okay, umbilical cord can be, the fluid has to be stored for future in case we suffer from any disease. So these things are going on because every time you can't be getting umbilical cord, so blood or cells. So it can be donated by some people, or it can be taken from self. So donation can come from either bone marrow or peripheral stem cell or umbilical cord blood. But there are controversies, there are ethical issues. They say use of embryos for stem cell is not correct. We have seen many countries banning, making it illegal to use embryos for stem cell therapy or even to carry out research. The countries like USA also has made it illegal to use these embryos. And then mixing of humans and animals also, they say ethics is involved. You cannot be creating something by mixing human and animal cells. But the stem cell therapy today, we know, has progressed intensely, and it is being used for anti-aging treatment, are used for various conditions that cannot be treated, which I have told you. Lot of research and studies are being published by professors and neurosurgeons especially, because that is one condition people are not able to treat. And mostly it is seen that the mesenchymal stem cells are preferred for treatment of autism, dementia, intellectual disabilities, and other things. The effectiveness of stem cell and prospect of treating the degenerative disease with cell therapy is very, very bright. I just want to I thought I'll share this because this is last week's news. This company called Miatech 3D, it is an Israel-based cultured meat startup. They have announced that they have, they are able to grow stem cells to the muscle fibers. That means what? The meat industry is going to get benefited. You take stem cell and you make muscle fiber, and you will get meat without killing an animal or anything. They've also developed, this company, Miatech company, has also developed new stem cell manipulation technology, which I thought was very interesting, by using plant inputs to transform embryonic mesenchymal cells into a fat cell, and that fat cell later on to the muscle cells. So this company has also filed a patent for its technology, that is they are calling it 3D prints of cell cultured meat products. Then a group of researchers in Tokyo are also able to replicate the muscle fibers via cell culture. Japanese group has achieved in that cell culture elasticity also. So it may look similar to the meat that is there. So this is another advancement which is happening. Maybe the food industry is going to get benefited from the stem cell technology. So this, I think there are some I've just taken from the net that you have this plant-based product, or you have a product. Now we'll have a cultured meat which is there without using the animals. Okay, now another thing is stem cell and the FDA regulation. Most of the stem cell therapies are not approved by the USA FDA trusted sources, and some of them are illegal, some of them can be dangerous. So anyone who is considering the stem cell treatment should check with the provider that whether FDA has approved the treatment or not for its safety and efficacy. Some of the countries where it is legal, I think this Austria, Germany, Italy, Russia, and Turkey, lot of prohibitions are there. Australia's partial support is there. USA, UK, Canada trials are going on, but with restrictions. But these countries like Sweden, Finland, India is included, Japan, South Korea especially, here it is legal, and they are doing a lot of trials, and the stem cell therapy goes on. Okay, so that was about stem cell. I hope it is clear. Now the same thing, now we have to extrapolate it to plant stem cells to see whether plant stem cells can be used in the same way. Of course, the plant stem cell therapy is still in its infancy. Very little is known. It has to be explored by all of us, or the students here. You have to explore and see what kind of innovations can be done by using these plant stem cells. Okay, I'll start with history of stem cell and plant cell or plant stem cell. Not much about the stem cell, but plant stem cell. I'll just give you one experiment what was done, and they found that plant stem cell can be used. So the first time the the stem cell was used, the term stem cell was used was in 1860 to explain the Darwinian theory of evolution. Then this German biologist Ernest Haeckel, he constructed a phylogenetic tree, and he gave a term, the Stammzelle, I may not be pronouncing it right, stem cell, to describe the original single organism cell from which he suggested that all the other organisms are evolved. Russian histologist Maximov from 1896 to 1902 authored many documents about these stem cells, and gave the theory of hematopoiesis. And since then, lot of study is going on stem cells on the mice, plants, and of course the human patients to see whether it can be used for curing certain diseases. History of stem cell therapy, I think we can say dates back to 1969, when first time the bone marrow transplantation was done. After that, we have seen lot of other advancements. I am not going to go into the details. So many types of transgenic animals being made. You had the dolly sheep which was made. You had so many kinds of therapies which were done, and other things. I will concentrate on inspiration for using plant stem cells in the skincare. There is an unusual source which is almost extinct apple tree in Switzerland. This was the actually basis for using the plant stem cells. It was originally bred in 18th century for its incredible shelf life. It's called Atweiler spatloba. I may not pronounce it properly, but it is, I think it's a German word. So this apple in 18th century, it used to be grown, and people used to use it. But after that, it is becoming extinct probably because of the flavor. Because now we have all the apples having, you do hybridization, try to make the taste better, the flavor better, and other things. But this apple was very popular those days because we didn't have refrigerator those days, right? And this had a good longevity. And another important and interesting thing was, if the apple's skin was scratched, it could grow on its own. So this property is what people are trying to see, that if it is able to grow, can we use it for as a stem cell? Can we use the same signal what is used for growing as a stem cell culture? So its long lasting freshness was its ability to heal itself and unique storage longevity. This I told you already. Apple was crushed. While on the tree, the skin would quickly regenerate and close the wound. Even on the apple, we see it on the branches, but even on the apple, the wound closes. So this property was used. This is the plant. I'll call it Malus domestica, Swiss apple. This not only protects the skin, but it has been shown to have excellent age delaying property. It can be used in anti-wrinkle properties, and the apple stem cells are derived from rare variety of this Twyla spatlober apple tree in Switzerland. And the Swiss stem cell extract is a natural alternative to regenerate the DNA damaged skin cell. So I think it started becoming popular somewhere in 2008 when people were looking for the stem cells. Okay, so I am going to give you amazing result of the trial with this the plant stem cell by this lab called Mabel Biochemistry. They did something called a cell viability test, where the human cells were taken from the umbilical cord and they were treated with this extract of this stem cell. So first they cultured the stem cell and added 0.1% extract of that. So they saw that 80% proliferation of human stem cell was happening. That means what? It is able to, stimulate the proliferation of the stem cells. Then protection test they did. That was what they did was they took this umbilical cord blood and they irradiated with UV light. So what will happen? This irradiation, we know it will cause some damage, and the cells died. 50% of the cells died when the UV irradiation was done. These irradiated cells were then grown in this special apple extract, and it was seen that the number of cells, the decrease in the number of cells was very less. No, that means what? Again, it is causing these cells can have something called protection. Then they did an experiment on fibroblast. What is a fibroblast? It is a connective tissue. It manufactures collagen. It manufactures aminoglycans. It is reticular. It is elastic fiber. It has glycoproteins. It helps to provide a structural framework to the skin and also plays a critical role in wound healing. So what they did was they took this fibroblast and treated it with hydrogen peroxide for 2 hours until the cells began to show classic signs of aging. Hydrogen peroxide can cause that. Or in scientific term, this means that several genes essential for cell proliferation and growth were downregulated by the hydrogen peroxide. Then what they did was they took those cells and treated with this extract of the apple and incubated it for I'm not sure why 144 hours, but it was incubated for 144 hours, and it was seen that the down regulation of genes was effectively neutralized, and in some cases it was actually reversed. And they also saw that an antioxidant enzyme, heme oxygenase, was also stimulated. That again, what does it show? That it has a protection or it has a regeneration property. Then final experiment was done on humans. What they did was the anti-wrinkle effectiveness of this cream they tried to test. So that cream was containing this apple extract along with lecithin liposome. So people say probably lecithin liposome was the active ingredient, but then they had active ingredients of this apple extract also, that is the stem cells of the apple. It was applied twice to the crow's feet. What is crow's feet? This is a condition which is seen in old people. Near the eye, there are a lot of wrinkles, which is called crow's feet. And some 20 participants were used. And it was seen that the wrinkle depth was reduced by 8% in just 2 weeks and 15% in 4 weeks. I'll show you that. Now this cream is patented. It was patented in US, in Europe, Switzerland, as well as in Korea by this company called Phytocell Tech. Yeah, here you can see this is what is your crow's feet, where you can see a lot of wrinkles, and if you see the this thing scan of this, it looks little different. But after treatment within 28 days, you can see that lot of improvement is there. Now this has excited everybody, and they are calling it an anti-wrinkle cream, and we see so many anti-wrinkle creams or age-defying creams in the market which are having these stem cells, and this cell contains around the cream contains around 2% of this Malus domestica extract. What is the extract? It is an extract of the stem cell. I hope it is clear. I hope all of you appreciate that how the how the trial was done at different stages it was done, and finally it was proved that these stem cells can be used for it can we say it is used for regeneration, yes, or it can we say it is used for age defying, yes. Okay, this is not a good clear slide, but this is what they do. They take this apple cell, they make a callus out of it. Callus is what? Tissue culture when we are doing. You take any cell and you put it on a nutrient medium, you will see that it will grow into callus. Now this callus will have the stem cells also. Callus and stem cells, slight difference is there. The stem cells are taken, they are grown in a liquid medium, and then now you will get the stem cells which are continuously growing. Now these cells can be used, viable cells can be used, or an extract of these cells can be used. Okay, so the technology would be that wound the plant material. Wound means you can just cut and take the plant material, and then develop induced callus formation. Callus formation is what? It is the formation, that is, it is called undifferentiation, or it is called de-differentiation. That is, you take any part from the apple, either a leaf or the part of the fruit, and you put it on a nutrient medium, you get callus. Then that callus is harvested on a solid medium, then it is cultured in a suspension, and this suspension would be having the stem cells. Okay, yeah, what I'm telling, callus and stem cell, what is the difference between stem cell and callus? Callus is similar to plant stem cell in its ability to differentiate, but the two are different in their origin. Now, I think next few slides I will talk about the molecular controls which are there, which I think not very clear to all of us, because lot of molecular biology, lot of gene control is there. But there is something which is happening, that stem cells will become meristematic in nature, and whereas the callus will remain heterogeneous. So callus is obtained as a temporary response, but to the wound in the somatic cell, but the true stem cells will can grow anytime, anywhere. So here, if it is clear, this is how the callus looks like. From this, we have to see whether we are going to get any stem cells from this or not. I think I have a picture here. Yeah. So plant meristematic cells, you have, this is a plant. Anywhere you can take a plant meristematic. Normally a meristematic cell is taken. It may be a shoot apex, or it may be a root apex, or you can take from anywhere, lateral meristem and other things. And these cells, when they're grown on a medium, something called de-differentiation takes place, or we call it undifferentiation. And you have callus here. Now this callus can regenerate into shoot or root, or it will remain as stem cells, where the organogenesis does not take place. So these stem cells can be chosen either from the callus, or we can get it directly from the plant also. Okay. So these cells are called, as I said, they are called meristematic cells. They are multi or totipotent cells responsible for growth, development, reproduction, and survival of the organisms. They can proliferate indefinitely, can differentiate to any type of cells if the signal is given. Then rich in growth factors and antioxidants. So this is what the most of the industries are banking on, that even if the cell is not able to stimulate the human cells, it will have a lot of growth factors and antioxidants which would be useful for treatment. It is used in cosmetics due to its cellular regeneration property, due to its antimicrobial property, anti-inflammatory property, and protection against the radiation. So the cells, if we try to see how they look under the microscope, you will see the cells would be, the root cells will look like this. You have the cells, we can take cambium. All these are the meristematic cells. All of them may not be the stem cells, right? They may be cells which are growing. Some of the cells somewhere here or somewhere inside are the stem cells which need to be identified and collected. So stem cell in plant and animals, if we say, you take any seed is regenerated, you get a pluripotent stem cell. You can get pluripotent stem cell anywhere from here. Whereas in animals, if you see pluripotent, you can see only during the till the embryo stages. Here you will have only the tissue cells which need to be either stimulated or needs to be collected from some of the mesenchymal cells. Okay, so this may not be very clear to, sometimes it is confusing even to me because we do not know the gene controls. In plant and animal cells, you have something called conceptual similarity and something called molecular distinctiveness. So they are similar in some way and also different in some way. Animals and plants maintain a small pool of stem cells that are continuously provide precursors for more specialized cells to sustain the growth or to replace the tissues. In both the organisms, stem cells are maintained by intercellular signals, and there is something called a niche which is present. Those are the stem cells, and these stem cells are the ones which are helping the other cells to grow. So, although plants use different signals and are more flexible at establishing stem cell niche in new location, recent evidence suggests that mechanism restricting the cell fate in stem cell progeny is similar in both the kingdoms. And this is what I said. A lot of research is required to see what is the molecular control, and can this control be identified, used for controlling the human or animal stem cells. What is stem cell niche? These are maintained in cells which are maintained in a microenvironment called niche. Typically, few stem cells are maintained by short range signals, and these stem cells divide. Some of the daughter cells go outside the niche, and once they go outside the niche, they begin to differentiate. Source of signal and its effective range defines the stem cell niche. I'll show you here. Yeah, these are the cells, and these cells give some signal, and this red zone is the niche where these cells are there. Now these are the stem cells which are here, and the other cells go out of this niche and they start dividing. Now what is happening in this niche, that these stem cells are there, or these stem cells are helping the others to differentiate and divide. So there are some signals which are maintained. Both of them are maintained by something called intercellular signals or cell-to-cell communication, which is useful in the developmental context. In plants, the signals that maintain stem cells are not very well known, but a lot of experiments are being done to see what roles are there. One of the things that is known is that hormones control. I think people who are familiar with plant tissue culture, we know what happens. If you take a explant, you grow it, we can differentiate, we can de-differentiate by adding certain hormones like auxins and cytokinins. Then we see that you have a de-differentiation happening, then we see proliferation happening, then we see organogenesis happening. So a lot of variation is there, and so I can call it hormonal control, which is very clearly demonstrated in case of plants. This is another, this will show you that what is the hormonal control for de novo organogenesis. So take a plant and you see that the plant can, it grows, and you can see the meristem growing, and somewhere here you have these other stem cells, and we see that cytokinin and auxins are used, or you have all these other various kinds of genes which have been identified. I'll tell you about some of the genes or the transcription factors which are useful, which have been identified. One of them is this VOX5. So phytohormones play a role, and this is something called short root and scarecrow, which is a cell which specifies the position of the quiescent cell in the radial axis, which are actually the stem cells. Or you have two plethora proteins which are containing plant-specific DNA binding domains which specify the stem cell region. Then you have this WUS gene, which evokes the transcription factor for organization. You have, I'll not go into the details, small protein called CLV, which is expressed in the stem cells. And this WUS needs additional input from other genes. So here you can see this is the quiescent region, right? This region is the stem cell region, or the other cells will be growing, and we can see what happens to the stem cell fate, whether it gets differentiated or it remains as such and waits for the signal to differentiate. And this is for organ initiation. This is the central zone where the stem cells are there, and all others are various zones which will help, and these are the various genes or factors which are helping to differentiate the cell. Yeah, this I want you to see. Vox5 is this is callus which is trying to grow roots, and here if there is an overexpression of Vox in the callus, you can see formation of shoots and roots. So organogenesis is happening. Now if this Vox, what is the control of this Vox? If this is understood, probably we can look for this in the human stem cells and plant animal cells, right? Another control is this. It is called Racinosteroid signaling model. This is a central stem cell specific component of this pathway, where again you can see that if this is controlled, you can see that stem cells start to grow. Another one, what is the fate of stem cells? You have a cell and the plant development happens, or the cells become totipotent or embryogenic stem cells. Now this needs to be understood. This path needs to be understood. I'll show you one more thing, that these two, animals and plants, may be connected to the same maintenance factor. I'll call it maintenance factors because the cell has to remain as a stem cell or undifferentiated cell, or it should stimulate the other cells to either undergo differentiation or other things, right? So I've just taken the same sentence from the paper. New data suggests that the cell maintenance is exclusively sensitive to a protein called retinoblastoma protein and its signaling pathway. And this retinoblastoma pathway is there even in the mammalian stem cell. So this is suggesting that there is a diverging pattern mechanism of the somatic stem cells in plants and animals, and these two may be connected. And if that is happening, that is what people argue, that if you use plant stem cells for treating the human cells, the plant stem cell can, stimulate the human cell to differentiate, and hence the human cell therapy can be done using the plant stem cells. I hope it's clear. Otherwise, I'll give you the references. You can just go through it. Okay, now let's see what exactly can be done for preparing the stem cell products. So first you take the plant stem cell, isolate the stem cell, probably from cambium or any apical cells. Then culture it, you will get callus. Try and identify which are the stem cell, make a cell suspension, scale up. This becomes a little problem. Scale up is you have to grow it in a larger volume, and then you get the various commercial products, either the cosmetics or pharmaceutical products. So let's see now what is plant stem cell therapy. Normally it is the skin industry or skin care industry which are using the plant stem cell, but then there's a lot of potential for this plant stem cell. So meristem or plant stem cells are being used in human therapy, right? So what are meristems? Meristems are the one that are used in the therapy. Main reason is that both have the property of differentiation, right? A meristem and a human stem cell differentiate. I'm just putting a assumption that meristem differentiate, human cell differentiate. Now plug meristem into our framework. A trigger induces a stem cell to differentiate into multi-celled organism. What is the trigger? Probably it can be a meristem. So in the sentence, if I've taken this from a paper. In the sentence, if I put meristem here, I can say meristem induces a stem cell to differentiate into multi-cell organism. So our stem cell therapy is ready. You take plant stem cell, put it along with the human stem cell, probably the differentiation will take place, right? So meristem cell will not participate in differentiation of stem cell. It will only induce the human stem cell to multiply and differentiate. I hope it's clear. So human stem cell used in therapy may participate like the stem cells of skin or normal eye when used to regrow the burned eye to correct the blindness. Now this is what they do. When there is a blindness, they try to take a stem cell from anywhere and they try to instill it into the eye, either from a normal eye or from anywhere. So what will happen? What will happen? It will, this stem cells will be, it may not be participating, but it is trying to correct the blindness. So meristem plant stem cell will also not participate, but it will help the differentiation of human cell. So it induces the human stem cell to multiply and differentiate. This is what is the basis of plant stem cell therapy. For example, stem cells can be used for treatment of arthritis or inflammation. What is arthritis? It is a degenerative disease which is caused by the free radicals. So here, what we can say is that there is a degeneration. So probably the plant stem cell, if it is applied, it will help in stimulating the degenerated cells. So native cells of the sufferer could differentiate and regrow the synovial fluid, because normally in arthritis, if you know about the pathogenesis of arthritis, you have the synovial fluid which is where there is a problem. So here the stem cell may be able to help in the remedy. So this can be used, of course, no product has come into the market for this purpose, but then it can be used for therapy. Now, what are the other effects that can be done by using these plant stem cells on human? These cells are known to detoxify the cells. They reduce the free radicals. They can regulate the apoptosis. They can promote regeneration and cell renewal or epithelial regeneration. Increase the collagen and elastin. Increase. So it will not develop collagen and elastin, because I saw a report somewhere where they said no, plant stem cell does not have collagen producing property, but it can increase for some by some stimulation. Promotes anti-wrinkle. I have already given you the example. Stimulates DNA repair mechanism to repair. Remove the body's burden toxin to regain organ function. Regulates sebum. Promote the skin's pH factor to maintain the balance, and many others. So a lot of research is going on for using these stem cells for any of these properties, or there are other properties also which can be used. So I'll say the stem cell therapy is possible, and hence it is gaining a lot of importance and excitement. Okay. One is stem cell, which is very, very popular in last few years, is that it is used for protection of the skin. Protect the skin against sun damage, protect against wrinkles, and many of the leading dermatologists have given proof for this. Stem cells can promote production of new collagen and could improve the anti-aging. Phytonutrients present in the stem cell can be used for tissue repair. So it may not be the cell which is doing the thing, but the nutrient which is present in the cell may be helping in the tissue repair. Then new plant stem cell technology can make antioxidant ingredients in skincare products, and it can become more effective. Stem cells of the plants can be used in stem cell therapy for human beings, especially for skincare, and that is why we see a number of products which are there in the market. So let's see which are the products which are there in the market. I'll start with this, a Japanese rose callus culture. This is being used in cosmetics for antioxidative, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial skin hydration. So they take the rose culture. Rose as such we know is used in the cosmetics. So here the stem cells are taken from that, and they are making a cream out of it, and they say that it is having a good activity. And you have a rose stem cell biorepair gel mask which is being used. This is done by the Peter Thomas Roth. Then you have this I think Korean company. You have a mint plant stem cell toothpaste and mouth wash, and a very good review that from this they've taken from that Swiss apple stem cells, and they put it in the toothpaste and the mouthwash, and it is showing a lot of benefits, or a good review is there. If you try to look for this product in the net, you see very good review. Yeah, I want to tell about this. This is the product that I saw in my shop near my house, where they call it Youth Eternity. There's a day and night cream, And when I look at the product, you have so many plants where the stem cells of the plants are used, and it is included in this. And again, a very good review about this. It has stem cells and some exotic herbal actives which are present. So our Himalaya drug is also carrying out the plant stem cell research, and many products are coming out of it. Then there's another one, Shehnaz. I think Shehnaz Hussain also a lot of work is going on. And this plant, I think I'll talk about this Edelweiss flower, and along with plant and other things they have used, and they're calling it 20 because it can be used to reduce the wrinkles. It can be used for making the skin smoother, firmer, and younger. So this is what is your example of stem cell therapy. Yeah, this was one of the product. If you type stem cell therapy in the Google, you'll get this product. No, this is a plant called Globularia cordifolia. This also has a self-healing property. And this self-healing, so they say the product is actually mimicking the self-healing property. So it can be used. It's a high potency, highly recommended product. But it also contains hyaluronic acid from the botanical sources. There are some flowers and other sea vegetables which are added into it. Very good product. And you call it organic. You call it the name itself is plant stem cell therapy for skincare. There are other products. I'll just go through very fast. There is something called Tilth Beauty Eye Wonder Serum, which contains this plant, what I said, Edelweiss. There are flowers and there are stems. So this plant's stem cell is used, and it seems it will fade the lines which are around the eyes. Then you have Prana Rishi mushroom. Mushroom culture is also being done. Mushroom stem culture are being used for, again, as a moisturizer, and also different kinds of the products. So mushroom stem cells are also, I believe, are being studied for treatment of cancer and for regenerating skin. Again, in very infant stages, but probably we'll have some products coming out of it. Then you have Prana Active Vitamin Lift Serum. This contains the apple stem, and it contains homeostatin. Then it contains two different, not two, I think many different natural compounds where there is an algae and other things. There is the cisalpenia also, which will decrease the wrinkles. So, cosmetics has a lot of importance in the market. So you will see many cosmetic products using this. You have a skin finite peptide repair cream, which is having so many other things, but along with that, you have a stem cell. So the argument by some of the people who don't believe in plant stem cell therapy is that these are the products, the other products which are there in the this formulation, which are having the property. It is not the stem cell. Then you have a face cream, you have a magic dry ice, you have a moisturizer. Then you have something called products with stem cell melange. That is mixture of products are being used. Like, for example, Biophotonic Sublime, then Vitality Phytocell Complex, Juice Beauty. I have the list of this. Anyone interested, you can get it from me. This is supposed to be a new CC cream. I think all the youngsters must be knowing we use CC cream, and of course it is used as an anti-aging cream. Then this is one more thing that is very interesting, is that lot of good scientific evidence is there which suggests that stem cells from grapes, Vitis vinifera, lilacs, that is Syringa vulgaris, Swiss apple, are having good antioxidant and anti-inflammatory property. I have put a reference for this. So this reference gives you all the marketed products which are there. So maybe we will have some with all this. We know these drugs are used in Ayurveda and other natural therapies, but then the stem cells from this also may be helpful in treating some of the diseases. There's another thing, a tomato stem cell. This was used to reduce the heavy metal toxicity. So maybe you have another revenue for stem cells where it can be used for detoxification. It can be used for DNA repair and production. So this also, there is a reference I have given. Then this is something new again, moong dal or moong bean or Vigna radiata. This is very important substance for regeneration and protection of the stressed skin. So the next generation probably will contain this type of extract. It was seen that due to radiation or due to various other things, this stem cell or the extract of the stem cells, which is giving you various kinds of enzymes, is giving a lot of energy, is giving a lot of other boosting, so that the damaging due to the environment can be stopped. So maybe we'll have a product very soon out of the stem cell of this Vigna radiata. Okay, now let us see which are the brand names related to the cosmetic industry which are actually having products in with stem cells. Maybe most of you are familiar with this. You have Mabel, the one which did the actual Mabel group, which did the study with the Apple, Swiss Apple. L'Oreal also, they have product. You have Lauder, which is having product. Channel 21, Christian Dior, maybe I'm not pronouncing them properly. Clinique, Michelle, then Juice Beauty, Intelligent Nutrients, Oriflame has products, Phytoscience has products, Natural Therapeutics has products, and in India I have seen Himalaya and Shahnaz Hussein's products are also having the stem cells. New research is also focused on stem cells to contaminate. Okay, this I'll not go into the details. They are trying to eliminate the contaminants from the plant so that the stem cells will be free. They will be sterile or free of many organisms and can be easily used for anti-aging. Okay, so now let us see what is the stem cell therapy. Is it the cell therapy or is it the extract therapy? Normally there are two ways by which the stem cells can be used. One is the active cells can be used, but then you have to think active cells, what will happen to it when you apply it on the skin, right? And it may be very expensive and challenging to make it remain active, because active cells will need certain kind of stimulus or certain kind of nutrient, but you put it in a cream, it will die. So the other therapy is that you use inactive extract, that is extract of those stem cells. Instead of using extract of cells, you use extract of stem cells. Most of the companies use the second way. So if you look at the products, they will say stem cell. It may be a extract of the stem cells, because you will see that there is ferulic acid, ellagic acid, many antioxidants which are there in the list. And these are the chemicals which are produced by the cells when they are grown in culture. Okay, I've just put the list of, just to make you impressed. I hope you get impressed that so many products are there in the market which are containing the plant stem cells. Okay, just to make the environment, the mood a little light, are plant stem cells safe? This is a question. Is plant stem cell therapy a live therapy, live cell therapy? Think, what is a live cell therapy? You're trying to take live plant cell and you're injecting it into the blood, or you're applying live cells and applying it on your face. What will happen? No, all these stem cells I told you are very smart. They can grow, differentiate. So I'll just put one picture. Will this happen? You'll get bark growing on your face. You'll get flowers growing on your face. No, that will not happen, because plant stem cells are safe. Yes is for safe. Most of the products contain dead cells and their extract. So we don't have to worry that we are using stem cell on our face and we are seeing the Edelweiss flower growing or an apple growing or any bark of the stem growing and other things. To summarize, the regenerative properties of plants has grabbed the interest of dermatology researchers. There are restrictions for the use of animal and human cells in cosmetics. So people are turning towards the plants. New technologies aiming to overcome the difficulties are being developed. What I said, large-scale culture and identifying the stem cell culture. While many cosmetics currently claim to utilize the plant stem cells, but actually they are using plant stem cell extract. Live cells are likely to be more advantageous, but then you need a proper delivery method, right? Delivery method to maintain that. And additional research on plant stem cells and associated biotechnology is clearly required to improve the current scenario, right? Stem cells are one of the most promising advancements. There is no question that stem cell science is still in its infancy, but potential is revolutionary. And stem cell science will completely change the medical care as we know it. But then you have something called having faith in medicine. Like what I said, I am excited. I want to see plant stem cell therapy come into the market. Instead of using animal products, I would want to use plant stem cell product. So with faith, a lot of research has to be done. The challenges in this stem cell therapy is selection of the stem cell, large scale culture of the stem cell, delivery methods. This is where we pharmacists can think of doing some research, that how do we culture? If we culture, how do we deliver it for specific formulation? Can we think of a new technology? Then additional research to understand the mechanism. And of course, the applications can be explored. And yeah, what I said, faith-based medicine, just to make you laugh, take 2 aspirins and pray for a Parkinson's cure, right? The 2 aspirin, let us not think that it is 2 aspirin. Let us think that it is plant stem cell culture to, cure Parkinson's. So, and one thing that all of us should know is we should have faith, we should pray. I've seen a lot of molecular biologists, they say, we do this, we do that, we control the gene, we do so many types of experiments, thousands of experiments are done, but then finally they pray that it works, right? So even stem cell, we have to see that good results are seen. So these are uncovering the secrets of longevity and persistent growth. And if we visualize the future of stem cell therapy, we would see it would be categorized as, no longer categorized as alternative. So it should not be an alternative, it should become the mainstream. We are now paving the way to plant stem cells constituting the main source of proven reconstructive functions. These are some of the references that I have used. I hope something at least you have understood, and you will appreciate the plant stem cell culture. Any questions, I would be very happy to answer, or you can reach out to me anytime.
Ma'am, I am Dr. Anbu from Rama University.
Okay.
I have 2 questions, madam.
Yes.
First of all, I would like to thank for such a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
So it's a very detailed presentation, and you explained very much about different types of stem cells, usefulness in treating various diseases, and sources of stem cells and all.
Thank you.
It was very useful. And I have a question, madam. You said something about meat production, right?
Uh,
So in that, is there any difference in the shelf life of these products, natural products and artificially made these meats, madam?
I'm not very sure, sir, because this is only last week's news. And then I think September they got something. They said 3D they have done.
Okay.
We are not very sure because see the meat, natural meat, all of people who are eating meat, we know it has its own properties. The artificially grown meat, how it will be, we do not know. See, we know that cell can grow as a single layer, like skin stem animal cell as a single layer, it can grow. But 3D, will it grow or not? Now, if you've seen that picture or you look in the net, you will see the 3D meat, nice loaf of meat you can see. They say either the
Yeah,
chicken
appearance
or
wise, it looks
yes,
very good,
it
but
looks good.
quality
We
and
do not
character
know
wise,
what is
will it
its.
be the same or different? That's what
We do
I
not know, sir. We do not know anything. Like when we were talking about transgenesis, also people said you can make meat here, you can make meat on a plant, but then they have proved that plant can stimulate the production of meat, and we don't
Okay.
know, sir. We don't know, and unless
Okay.
we eat, we will not know.
But after listening to your talk, I feel if we establish a good stem cell lab, we can solve the food
Yes, that
scarcity
is my
worldwide,
aim,
right?
sir. Let us see. I hope I'm able to do. Let's see if you are there. I will collaborate with you.
Sure, 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 ma'am. Another small question, madam. So
Yeah.
you mentioned something that products toothpaste and mouthwash is from
Uh,
this stem cell, right? So
yeah.
it has a very short contact time and as a toothpaste and a mouthwash. So
Hmm.
how it will be useful for treating this?
It seems
Uh,
it is giving the freshness. It is giving the freshness and it is acting as an antimicrobial. So
okay,
again, the cell may not act as antimicrobial. No, it may be the products which are there which are helping. So instead of using the extracting the products, they are using the stem cells. So actually, what happens is those cells when they are there in the formulation, they break and they make release those antioxidants or whatever antimicrobials, and it is showing good results, I believe. But of course, there are
okay.
so many mouthwashes which are available.
Yes,
But
yes,
again,
madam.
people, the industry needs to do something new, no?
Yes, yes. Okay. So now at the postgraduate level, is there any chance to establish this kind of research, madam, in your knowledge, like identifying the different types of stem cells, and if you use meristem and how to
I'm still
differentiate human
exploring,
stem
sir. I
cells.
tried to contact one person. I think Chennai there is a lab who are doing. I
Okay.
tried contacting them, but the person did not respond. So we have to see who all are doing. Or Himalaya, we don't know. Himalaya, they are very secretive. So they may not tell
No,
us.
companies
So
are,
we have to find out.
they
Let
will
us
maintain
see.
some confidentiality, but
Yes,
the
yes,
basic research
yes.
to induct at PG level, if there is any chance, if you have any idea, you please share with all other
Yes, yes.
other
I am
people also,
planning. Let's
please.
see if I get some good PG students, maybe we can at least the culture we can start, because see, tissue culture we do in our lab. Tissue culture we have done, organogenesis, suspension culture we have done. But trying to see this stem cell, I'm not very sure what we have to do, and then grow it, and then I think we can have some collaborative work where the pharmacology can be studied or formulations can be made using these stem cells, and very, very, very initial stages, but
Okay.
good chances are there.
Let us have collaboration and do this, madam.
Yes,
So,
yes, definitely. I'll be very happy to do that.
thank you, madam.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Ma'am, here one question is there. What is the
Hmm.
role of stem cell therapy in glaucoma?
In glaucoma. Glaucoma, I'm not
That
very sure,
is,
but eye disorders, it seems the stem cells can be used. They can take the cells from the eye and it helps to regenerate. I gave you that example, no, macular, this thing can be done. It can be done. There are, but again, the thing is that all these are in trial stages. Then there are legal issues which are there. Then, you have to consider so many things to start collecting the stem cells and then treating it. So, maybe it is happening in some places. I'm not very, very sure.
Ma'am, there are a few more questions.
Yeah, sure, sure.
We missed it
I'll be
because
happy.
a lot of things.
I'll be happy to answer. At least somebody was listening, or I don't know. People didn't understand anything, or they were
Question
not
is,
listening.
what kind of clinical trials are currently going on?
They are making the stem cells, and I think diabetes it is going on, and I think Parkinson's it is going on, heart it is going on. Whatever I showed, all the trials are going on. It is there on the thing, and of course the cosmetic, that is skincare. I think lot of approvals, but again the problem is that FDA may not approve of most of the things, but it is going on. Lot of things are going on, and lot of articles are there in the paper, in the journals. You can refer.
Next question is, what is the success rate of stem cell therapy?
I told you, the success rate, again, these cosmetic products, we are not very sure whether we can, what do you say, quantify them, right? So they say it is good. You have all the cosmetic products what are available in the market is good, are good, but then people don't give the credit to the stem cell. That is sad, but then we do not know. There are things which have been proved, like what I said, some of the things where it is shown that the human cells can be stimulated by plant cells, but no concrete results. I would say it is 50-50. Have faith. Maybe we will have good results, right?
On which disease this therapy would be most beneficial?
Disease, of course, skin regenerate, because see what in human cells also, what will grow fast, we know the not the totipotency, whatever the multipotency we are seeing only in the skin. So the skin we know, but other therapies are there. We have seen, I think all of you have heard that pig heart was done. So maybe something like that can be done. We still do not know. Pig heart transplantation or pig heart, the growth of this thing, I hope most of you have heard about that. It can be done, but then what we have seen is that good for cosmetic purpose, for antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and some examples of arthritis it is given where it is stimulating the cells and production of some of the things are happening. There are few reports for diabetes and for degenerative diseases also.
The next question is, how long does it take for the stem cells to start working?
We do not have any proof that are they working or not. That example what I gave, that crow feed, they said within 28 days it showed good result. It may be 15 or 20%, but it showed good result, right? And people are, it is only that people have to tell us, is it working or not working?
I think there are some more questions. Can plant stem cells be used in neurodegenerative diseases? And
Yes. Yes, they are trying,
role?
but then they are not. You please don't think that the cell is not going to, generate. Cell is going. The plant stem cell is having all the signals. What I said, the signals we still haven't understood. It is having the signals which can, stimulate the human cell to grow. So I will not say that the plant stem cell is going and replacing the human cell. It is impossible. The chromosomes are different, the DNA is different, but then the signal that is there for the cell to grow can be given by the plant cell. Again, it is in very, very, very infant stage. So all of you have to work. If it is a student, all of us have to work and see whether it is going to work or not work. Because there are with human cells and animal cells, ethical issues are involved. FDA is not approving, but FDA should approve plant stem cells if it is working. Inshallah, it should work.
What are the main negative effects of stem cell therapy?
As of now, there are no negative effects, I would say. Only thing I should told you that the worry was that what if the flower starts to grow on your face or bark starts to grow on your face, but it is not possible. As of now, there are no negative effects which are there. Hopefully it will not be there, because plant cells, we know, we have been using plant cells from when, isn't it? Centuries together, ages together. So the extract of the plant can be used. We are eating plants, so it should not have. Only thing is that stem cell, will that have any effect? No, it only grows. It just grows. It grows and it is making some chemicals which are useful to us. The natural, we have to say the natural compounds are useful to us.
So the next question is from Mahendra sir. Are there any trials for plant stem cells to be used along with human stem cells? Because I read normally the stem cells are usually injected directly in the affected area or bloodstream.
Yes, Mahendra, I know Mahendra. So Mahendra, they are using human cells, and I think some creams are also there where human cells and human or animal cells and plant cells have been used. But the injection of plant cells, I am not very sure. You don't inject it. You only apply it, I think so, till now. Because it's been used only for topical purposes. Injection, I'm not very sure. Have you, Mahendra knows anything? You can tell.
There is one more question, ma'am. The stem cell, can it be used to reduce the reactive oxygen species?
Yes.
With antioxidant activity with
yes, it has been proved. It has been proved that it can be used.
So can it be a add-on to anti-neoplastic therapy?
It can be. What I said, no, that they are trying to, I think mushroom cell culture and other things they are trying to see. Now what we have to see is which stem cells should we use. See, people the Swiss apple was proved. I think some flowers are proved. Then I think grapes are proved. Now we have to see which plant are you going to use. That plant will have its own activity. So can that be used for that? It is still a thought. I think this is only for your thoughts to be provoked to see whether it can be done.
How long can the stem cells be stored?
Plant stem cells can be stored for a long time, or they can be cultured from time to time. Again, storing again will depend upon how we store the cells. We can't store the cells outside. You have some methods of storing, but the culture can be done, and we know the cells. If anyone has done the plant tissue culture, we know if the right environment is given, the stem cell culture can be grown forever. The longevity in the plant cells is the maximum, and we know it can always be subcultured. And animal cells, we know how much ever time you do, except for some of the cell lines which are there, the other cells cannot be stored for a long time. But this can be stored because it can be subcultured, it can be differentiated, de-differentiated, redifferentiated, organogenesis can be done. So many things can be done.
So I would like to invite Dr. Muhammad Azmatullah, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmacology, Faculty of Pharmacy, to give you vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Keshav Desai. Good afternoon to everyone. Distinguished dignitaries, colleagues, participants, now we are marching towards the end of today's webinar. It's my honor and privilege to conclude this session by extending a vote of thanks. First of all, we are very much thankful to the management and inspirational source by Honorable VC Dr. Raina and Pro VC Dr. Krishnamurthy Jayana for their continuous encouragement and support in conducting this webinar. On behalf of all the faculty members of Department of Pharmacology, I thank our Dean Dr. S. Bharat for his all-round contribution to the Faculty of Pharmacy with his proactiveness and valuable guidance. And we are really fortunate to have an eminent speaker of today's webinar, Dr. Salma Khanam. In spite of his busy schedule, she agreed to deliver this talk, and we are very much thankful to you, ma'am.
Okay.
In her discussion, she emphasized on the stem cell therapy and enlightening the speech. Okay, definitely useful for the young researchers in our field of pharmacy. On behalf of Department of Pharmacology, Faculty of Pharmacy and all the participants, I profusely thank Dr. Salma Khanam for his thought-provoking speech. I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Kesha Desai, Assistant Professor, for his delivering the welcoming remarks to this auspicious occasion. I would like to convey my sincere appreciation to Mr. Damodar Nayak, Assistant Professor, our department faculty member, for this support, cooperation throughout the process and arrangements to successful conducting this webinar. On my personal behalf and on behalf of Department of Pharmacology, Faculty of Pharmacy, I profusely thank all the participants for this active participation, support and presence in making this program a noteworthy success. Thank you one and all.
Thank you.